everyone. Welcome back to the Plexi Film Show. This is AJ. I'm sorry that it took me a minute. Someone muted this mic completely, so I had to make sure it was working. But anyway, welcome back. This is the Plexi Film Show, WXUT 88.3, and I'm going to be talking about Regular Show, which Regular Show is about two friends that are co-workers and groundskeepers at a park, and they have to go on like misadventures and mysteries that they see throughout the park. I have no guest for this show. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how far I go. I found a lot of theories for this, and I chose some, maybe 4 or 5, but hopefully you guys will understand them. But we're going to start off with the basics, what my favorite character is. I would say my favorite character would have to be either Rigby or High Five Ghost. One, Rigby, I've always considered Rigby like me. Just, I always related to him as a character. Just always want to have fun, always want to have a good time, and just relax and chill with my homies, And High Five Ghost is also just that innocent little guy that wants to have fun, but also doesn't want to get in trouble. So I completely understand both of those characters a lot, so I connected myself to them. So those are my two favorite characters. Favorite episode or season. I'm going to start off with the episodes. I have 2 favorite episodes, actually. One is from season 1. It's episode 7 called Grow Cheese Deluxe, which is about Rigby faking to be astronauts and to get grow cheese. And it goes out of hand like crazy. And they had to save the universe with a grow cheese, which is interesting and awesome. Who wouldn't want to save the world with a grow cheese? Grow cheese is also the best food, one of my favorite foods. So, I just find it so funny that all that just to save the world by a grow cheese, which is hilarious to me. Another episode that is my favorite, it is season premiere of season 2. So it's season 2, episode 1, Hello Govna. It is a funny episode. It's about Rigby trying to get over a British taxi horror movie called Hello Govna. And it's just funny to me how Mordecai just forces Rigby to get over the British car, or tries to get him to get over the car, and Rigby just refuses to get over it and realizes that they go on an adventure and they realize, oh my gosh, this taxi is a real thing. And it was just all advertisement for the car, and it was just one of the co-workers at the movie store or workshop, or I'd say movie store, just trying to say, hey, where's the movie? You're overdue. And that's the whole solution to that episode. But my favorite season would have to be the one that I'm currently on. I've actually never seen all of Regular Show. I personally, when I was younger, when I first watched the show, I only saw 2 seasons, and I thought that was it. And I know first 2 seasons really well. And I'm on season 6. So season 6 is my favorite, and you're probably wondering why wouldn't the ending or the beginning be your favorite? Well, I personally think I kind of got, to a point where I was slowly losing interest of Regular Show, and season 6 kind of picks it back up by throwing a lot of character arches and a lot of, story in there as well. So it just helps a lot, and it's keeping me interested again. So yeah, I find season 6 really, really good. I found an actual BuzzFeed quiz for this, which is actually surprising because you would think there'd be some proper ones through Gravity Falls or previous episodes. I couldn't find BuzzFeed quizzes, but I found one. I took it and I got Rigby, which is very not surprising to me. But the description that they had for Rigby, it is, you are a wild and energetic and care a lot about your friends and family, which is true. You may be impatient, which is also very true. I can be very impatient at times, but I'm getting very better at it. I can be impulsive and irresponsible at some points, but you can also be thoughtful and would do anything for those who you love. And then people say you are childish, but you just like to have fun. And what I get from this is I can have fun, and I want to have fun, but I also know how to be serious, which is all very true. I really like that I got Rigby. Because, one, I like raccoons. Raccoons are my favorite animal. So, yeah. That's going to be the end of this segment. I will be back on at 10:15. So I'll see you around. I will be playing the soundtrack of regular show. So hopefully you guys enjoy. If you guys want to listen to the soundtrack of the show, I'll put it in the description when I upload this on Spotify and YouTube. So yeah, enjoy the wonderful soundtrack of regular show. This is WXUT 88.3 with the Plexi Film Show. Hello everyone, welcome back to WXUT 88.3, Toledo's only alternative, and this is AJ with the Plexi Film Show, and I'm going to be continuing to talk about regular show. I'm going to be continuing or starting to talk about theories. So yes, let's get on started, and let's get started with the first theory, which is how did High Five Ghost die? Because, you know, if you're a ghost, you had to die at some point. So we're going to start off with a little bit of a background of High Five Ghost. So High Five Ghost is Muscle Man's best friend. So you don't necessarily see him right away, but you do. And yeah, he's the only character with a shadow, of course. So there's an episode where you see High Five's parents, and Mordecai and Rigby sneaks into High Five's party, which ends up to be a disaster at some point, and you realize. So in this episode, High Five's parents turns Rigby and Mordecai into ghosts, and that's their ability. The episode New Bro Campus introduces how Muscle Man and High Five meet. Both characters crash into a mountain, and High Five saves Muscle Man. So that's a little bit of a background on how Muscle Man and High Five meet. So there's an episode where you see in a flashback where High Five's parents are in human form. And if you guys know, High Five is not human. He's a ghost, clearly. So we were thinking they were once human before. So how did they get here? So the episode, the postcard, High Five has a girlfriend, which kind of helps with this, kind of helps develop how High Five as a person is. And at the end of the show, High Five has a variant with his girlfriend, half ghost, half human, which is potentially what happened to High Five as well. But High Five is fully ghost, so I don't know how that specifically happens. Like I said, Five's parents were once human. High Five Ghost was potentially turned into a ghost right at birth, but we never know, because who knows how long High Five's parents had the ability to turn people into ghosts directly, because in the episode when High Five was born, you see that his parents were human at one point, so and High Five comes out as a ghost. Five never directly says they're even his parents in the first place. So that could potentially be another family member that took care of him that are completely ghosts. So you never know. His actual parents probably either gave him to his family or whatnot. So it's a mystery, and that's what makes theories fun. We kind of try to put pieces together that make sense. Ghosts tends to struggle with the topic of death because of his mother, and that's how he handles trauma, is just trying to do anything he can to his power. It's just he tries to avoid the topic of death because he's very traumatized by the death of his mother. Overall, it could potentially be grief that he's dealing with. Could be that reason why he's a ghost. He's just dealing with that grief. It could be all a dream. It could either not be. And that's what makes a theory, and that's why we like it. That's the first theory. I don't know if you guys really like that one or not. I personally found it really interesting because I've always wondered myself why High Five is a ghost in the first place. So that's just me. Another fun theory I thought was interesting is regular show is just a prequel to Adventure Time. And you wonder why. Well, one, J.G. Quintel also helped make Adventure Time or help be the creative design of that show as well. They've been said that they're the same universe, Adventure Time is just an apocalypse after what happened with regular show, because in Adventure Time there are more anthropomorphic characters. Like in regular show, the animals or objects are more human-like. They're more standing up. They're doing more human activities rather than in Adventure Time, if that makes sense. They're doing more human. They have more human abilities in regular show compared to Adventure Time, which is really interesting to think about. After the apocalypse happened, radiation on Earth is causing these dramatic changes over time, which you see in Adventure Time, especially the first episode. You just see how much impact and craziness the radiation could have caused. Regular show could also potentially be either 100 years or 1,000 years before Adventure Time. So that is a fun time period to think about. Radiation being around for so long after the war of the apocalypse happening. Both creators worked together and worked on a show together called Flapjack before regular show and Adventure Time. So they could all connect to a degree, either prequel, sequel, or just the same universe, or it's a theory. It could just be nothing at all related to one another. And that's why it's so fun. Anywho, I'm going to take a little bit of a break. I'm going to be coming back on at 10:35. Give you guys 15 more minutes to listen to this amazing music of regular show. I'm sorry, I'm doing like 5-10 minute segments. It's hard to come up with all the theories and go into detail and bounce off one another, and that I could have your guys' help to bounce off if you call to the station. So if you guys ever want to call, I'll give you the phone number after this break. So if you guys want to jump in and talk to me, I'll give you guys that after this break. So yeah, this is WXUT 88.3, Toledo's only alternative. And then this is AJ with the Plexi Film Show. Enjoy the regular show soundtrack. Hello everyone, welcome back to WXUT 88.3, Toledo's only alternative. And this is AJ with the Plexi Film Show. And I'm going to be continuing to talk about the theories of regular show. And the first theory that I will be talking about is the rejected soul theory. If you want to come in and join and bounce off these theories and talk about them with me, please call in the studio at 419-530-4455. That is the studio line if you want to call and talk to me about these. All right. The rejected soul theory is about why are some of the characters get to live and why some don't. If you're confused by that, some of the characters that are animals are not exactly human-like or specifically characters in the story, or even humans in general. Why are just some of them characters in the story and why are some things not? We got a call over here. Let's answer that. Hello. How are you?
Hello?
How are you? What's your name?
Jameson?
Jameson, nice to meet you. I'm glad you're joining me on the air. So,
hey, good to be here.
I'm glad you're joining in. So you
Long time listener, first time caller, huh?
Yeah. So, are you ready to hear about this theory and ready to bounce off some ideas with me?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right.
Take me through it step by step.
Step by step. Okay, I got you. So it starts off with season 1 with episode 11, where Rigby eats a lot, and the body and the soul of his character separates, right? If you remember that episode.
What are you talking about?
So you know the one episode where Rigby eats a lot, and his body separates from his skin, right? And it's like a big old blob.
Big, yeah.
Yeah. It's just really weird to think about, because is that representing like his actual soul? Like, does every character, do you think, have that, or that like form of soul? Do you think so?
I don't think animals have souls. The Bible taught me that.
The Bible taught you that? I mean, according to the show, though, like, do you think that's a representation of a soul, though? No comment?
Anyways. What are you wearing right now?
All right, anywho, the bodybuilder that you also see in the episode wasn't able to return to its own body because it's been a long time, right?
Yep. But
the souls of these people that are like some of these characters or some of these objects are assumed that the souls of these humans couldn't return to their natural form of body, and they took over the animal's body or objects that you may have seen.
Yep.
But why do you think only certain objects and animals exist in this series and some don't?
Probably just the way God made it.
Probably.
You know?
Probably. It's just interesting to think about on how.
AJ,
What's the question?
About your animals?
About my animals? Go ahead, go ask.
Maybe only certain animals are in the show because that's the ones creators like.
That could be a possibility. That's true.
AJ, can I ask you a question again?
Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe they only put animals that I like in there, so that I would like to show more.
I mean, what animals would you put in the show?
The same ones.
The same ones. But is there any specific character or animals that you would like to see in the show that wasn't in there?
Did they have one that was like a yellow dog that was stretchy?
Okay.
That would have been cool.
That would be very interesting. It would be like the movie Super Dog. You know what I'm saying?
What? No, it's like the guy from whatever. Adventure Time.
Jake the dog. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
So are you saying that there should be a crossover? That would be cool.
No, I just want him to show.
Just
not a crossover.
Just him, and just leave Adventure Time and just join regular show.
Well, it doesn't already permanent. It's like pop him in now, you know.
I get that.
What's your favorite episode?
What'd you say?
What's your favorite episode?
I've already answered that, but I can answer again for you.
Yeah.
My favorite episode would have to be episode 7 from season 1, the Grilled Cheese Deluxe, when Mordecai and Rigby saves the universe by throwing the grilled cheese into the big old orb that was gonna blow up the world.
I like that one. My favorite episode is the one where they beat one video game.
Oh, the big video game head? I know I know exactly which one you're talking about. That one's pretty good too. That one's really cool. What's your favorite season? Like overall?
What season did they go to space?
It's like for the whole season?
Yeah.
I don't think there's a specific season that they're in space for the whole time for.
No, that's like towards the end they go to space.
Oh, I don't remember, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Though I don't remember what season specific.
Space, regular show. Ooh, something I don't know. Just look up space. Look it up.
Look it up. I can do that real quick. Do you have an idea what the episode or end of the season it would be?
Nope.
All right, let me look that up real quick. Let's see what season of regular show. I think it's just the final season itself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that makes sense. Because the whole universe just collapses itself.
AJ?
What's up?
You don't know me, but my name's Cal, and I've never seen a regular show.
Okay.
So can I ask you a question?
Go ahead. More than welcome.
Why is it that when Rigby and Mordecai are given like a really simple task, they end up like breaking the universe?
That is a good question, because that is going to be part of one of my next theories, actually.
Can you tell me about it?
I can. So it's going to be a theory of if they're on, some, drugs or not. That's the whole theory, is like it's a whole show based on if they're on substance or not, So,
Really?
so the whole series could be connected to the first short that J.G. Quintel makes, which is called 2 in the AM PM, which is when the two main characters in that short that he makes, which is before the regular show, by the way. It's when the two characters are on substances and they get addicted to it, and they're like two co-workers at a gas station working at a convenience store. They, in that short, they turn into a blue jay, aka Mordecai, and a gumball, Benson. They get, like I said, addicted, and which could result into the whole show itself, which could be interpreted that they start abusing it and they develop mental disorders such as multiple personality disorder and schizophrenia. So it could be like them breaking in and out of consciousness, if that makes sense.
What's talking about theories? What's your take? Which one do you think is true?
Which one do I think is true out of the ones I've only talked about so far?
Just like a new one. Just like whatever. Whichever one you think is true.
I feel like the one that I just talked about, the one that they're on a trip, even though not fully finished, but I feel like that one's the most realistic and the most evidence I feel like would make the most sense.
What drug do you think they're on?
The one that starts with the letter A, ends with a D, 4 letters. I can't specifically say it on air, if that makes sense.
I just think it's interesting that it's
Technically what?
a children's show.
Yes. So it's funny because the creators wanted the show to be meant for adults. So they start to throw in innuendos just for adults. But yeah, it's really interesting because the short that that I talked about called the 2 in the AM PM, that was a project that J.G. Quintel made when he was in college. So it makes sense on if it could be either related to the show or not, and it's up to our interpretation if you want to take it or not. But like,
you've convinced.
Huh?
You've convinced me.
I convinced you. Does it work?
Yeah.
Because if this says anything, the friends and the coworkers in the show are just like the figments of each other's imagination. Which the medication that they're on, the substance that they're on, I should say, makes them make bad decisions. So the park that they work in isn't even the real park at all. It's just like an abandoned park or abandoned area with a house that Benson and Mordecai live in. Skips is like, their drug dealer that gives them like life advice on what is right and wrong. Pops is like a horrible crime lord that is very naive and then tries to get away with bad things. And then Benson is more like a bad, shady sheriff itself that lets Pops get away from whatever he wants. And then Muscle Man and High Five are the actual stoners themselves. And then Margaret is Mordecai's so-called ex-girlfriend that he suspects that is cheating on him. And then Rigby is Mordecai's dead best friend that he's grieving over. So, which is very, very sad to think about if that theory is true, you know?
Yeah, that's very.
Do you have anything else that you would like to say before I end the segment here?
Wait, but I'll miss you.
I'll miss you guys too. Hey, I'll talk to you guys later, all right?
Okay.
All right. Thank you for joining in. This is...
Hold on, Victor wants to...
Oh, you want to say something, Victor?
No.
No? Okay. All right. I'll see you guys later. All right. Thank you guys so much for listening to WXUT 88.3 with the Plexi Film Show. I want to give you guys a 10-minute break, more so 12 minutes. I'll see you guys back on at 11. So I'm going to be continuing with the music of regular show. So hopefully you guys enjoy the wonderful music of regular show. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to WXUT 88.3, Toledo's only alternative. And I'm back with the Plexi Film Show. And I'm going to say a PSA before we continue on with the show. Have you ever wanted to train dogs and help them get to a happy family? In the Rocket Service Dogs organization, you can either foster a dog or babysit a dog in training. You do not need any experience at all. We accept all of those that are willing to help train a dog. We will train you on how to train these dogs. Along with training these cute dogs, you also get to make them toys, blankets, clothes, and many more things. For more information, check out their social media pages. All right, I'm going to be continuing on with the theories of regular show. I found one more, but I'll talk about this one real quick before we get to that, and I'll probably be after the next break as well. So, the next theory that I'll be talking about is, why are Mordecai and Rigby always in on things that they're given to, like chores wise? Why are they, or maybe things that they're requested for by their coworkers? Like, why are they always doing these things? And why are they always broke? Question is, they never have money, but they do have jobs and get paid clearly. But how much are they paid, and what are their expenses, and where does their money go? Well, we got to figure out what decade they're working in, because they're on minimum wage. $3.35 in 1985, $4.45 in 1995, $7.23 in 2023, according to DOL.gov. But minimum wage depends on where you live, and it just changes by state. But we do know that they do get paid $100 a month. Do the math, they get at least 58 cents per hour. What are their expenses? Nothing besides maybe paying for all the damages that they cause through everything that they do. And we're guessing that most of their money goes to, of course, the food, the wings that they're addicted to, and games, and because the one thing that Mordecai and Rigby bond over is video games, so of course they're spending a lot of money on that. And they're spending money on their girlfriends. So we're guessing that's where all their money goes to. I want to tell you some fun facts for a little bit here, because we like fun facts, and who doesn't like a little bit fun facts here or there? While J.G. Quintel was working on Flapjack, he doodled Rigby on a Post-it note, and he still has that Post-it note to this day. Ben Orman and Pendleton Ward aren't J.G. Quintel's only Cal art buddies. He also met Sam Marin at art school, who now voices Pop, Benson, and Muscle Man. Then they all just kind of became friends and worked on this project together. J.G. Quintel is also the voice of Mordecai, if you guys didn't know that. And the voice that you hear Mordecai speak is his natural voice. Sam Marin enjoys voicing Benson the most out of all the characters he's playing as. Regular Show and Adventure Time are the only Cartoon Network original shows that have spanned more than 6 seasons. Regular Show was the first Cartoon Network show to reach 200 episodes as well. And then Mordecai is based on J.G. Quintel himself in his college years and refers himself as Mordecai as an alter ego of himself, if that makes sense. Let's see here. There's an episode where Mordecai has to paint a portrait for Benson that he and Rigby ruined at the end, and then worried that Benson will hate that painting, and it goes into a flashback scene to a time where Mordecai is in school where he had to draw a girl and it made her cry, which is tied to J.G. Quintel's real life situation that happened to him, which that girl that cried was his girlfriend. So it's pretty crazy how traumatic that happened and got into the show. Rigby became a character when J.G. Quintel randomly drew a hula hooping raccoon and then just liked it a lot and said, why not? So that goes along with what Jameson said about just liking characters or certain animals that they just decided to throw into the animation, which is very self-explanatory. Rigby was actually meant to have a tie, but decided not to do that because it would be just pain to deal with while animating it. Sean Zoles is the supervising producer of Regular Show, but that's not all he does. He also composes and sings most of the songs in the show. The show's animation is largely completely at Serum Animation in South Korea as well. I find that very interesting that the show is being animated in South Korea, which to me just thinks why they're out of all places. Maybe that's just what they could afford. Maybe that is just an offer that they were given. Who knows? Let's see here. Regular Show captures the emotion of a scene by just using 80s music, which is also what you guys are hearing during each break. Which I'm fine with that because 80s rock music just always hits different. And who doesn't like rock music? Rock music always hits different. The series was originally going to be about 2 animals working at a zoo where all the creatures on display were humans, which can be a very dark show, by the way. It also sounds like it could be a Twilight Zone episode. The show had its own comic book series, but then got canceled after 8 issues, which is very sad because I feel like you could do so much with comic books more than TV shows, because I know the show's target was meant for kids, but they also wanted it to be towards adults as well, which I feel like you could have done that in a comic book instead, but that's just sad that it got canceled. Skips is the only character that has 5 fingers, while the rest of the cast only has 4. And then Skips is voiced by Mark Hamill, who you may know as Luke Skywalker. So those are some of the fun facts. I'm going to be talking about another theory after the break, and I want to be throwing in another theory after that or some more fun facts. So yeah, be ready for that. I'll see you guys back on at 11:20. So you guys, hopefully you guys enjoy this little segment that we have. It was more so fun facts. So yeah, enjoy the soundtrack of the Regular Show, which is not regular at all. All right, this is WXUT 88.3, Toledo's only alternative, and I'll see you guys at 11:20. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the WXUT 88.3, Toledo's only alternative. This is AJ with the Plexi Film Show. I'm going to be continuing on with some theories and some fun facts. I found one very interesting and fun theory. And you know how throughout the show, the characters are constantly and overly obsessed with eating wings? Well, what are in the wing? Like, what's in them? what are secretly in the wings? You never know what could be in them. So they constantly get their wings from Wing Kingdom, which is a restaurant full of wings. The park employees constantly always want them, and they become addicted / intoxicated to them. You're questioning, huh? What do you mean? Well, what substances are in the wings? Well, it's definitely alcohol and nothing else. You're wondering why do you think that? Well, because it's more so simulating that. What do most coworkers do after they eat or go? What do they usually do after, work? They usually go out to eat and go to a bar. Likely this is just a friendly version of alcohol, which is wings. You never know. How much how much of that substance is in the wings could potentially represent or be in. So multiple orders have on average 6 in the show 6 to 12 wings, which could equal out to one beverage. Then it makes sense why they would feel it after a few orders. If so, are they addicted to this? Well, alcohol isn't necessarily addictive, but it depends on if you're abusing it, which makes you addicted. They usually have the wings on special occasions and when they're sad, which is part of abusing it, which is the second part. Because if you're just having wings because you're sad, and if it's representing that thing, then you're abusing it. But why would the wings cause this? If the wings are supposed to represent a beverage, they aren't fully a food product. Then drinking on an empty stomach, the effects will affect more in volume then. So if they're having 4 to 5 orders, they would definitely be out of it. Or even 2 orders, it could take an effect. But it also depends on your tolerance and the size of your body is. But who knows? This whole theory is just for fun. It could just mean one thing. Wings are meant to be an adult content for a beverage for a younger audience to throw in something for adults. Because, like I said, this show, they originally wanted to be meant for adults, but it was meant for kids to have a wider audience. So it could also just mean it just gives us a stupid thing to ponder over. But wings are good overall. I don't know if you like wings. I definitely like wings. I'm a boneless wing guy, though. But boneless wings are good in general, so I'm not complaining about this fun theory. I found a few more fun facts online. So in the episode, Skip's a story. Skip says a long time ago in a high school far, far away, which if you don't know, like I mentioned before in the previous fun fact, Skip's is voiced by Mark Hamill, which makes sense. Because, Luke Skywalker, Star Wars, and that's what Star Wars opens with, which is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, which is a cool way that they combined these collaborations together. J.G. Quintel knew he wanted to voice Mordecai, but he still had to go through the casting process, which is really annoying, but no one else fit that character and voice that they want as much as J.J. Quintel. So he automatically, of course, got the role, which I don't know why they thought anyone else would be better than him. But, he does well. Pops was supposed to be a lollipop, which I actually figured out today when I was watching the show and finding more about this series. I just thought he just had a big head. I never really thought about it because all the other characters you just see, they look like this. They don't look like that. Like, Benson is a gumball machine, so I didn't really think about it. And that moves on to Benson is a gumball machine, and he actually dispenses gumball throughout the whole show. Whenever he falls down, there's an episode when he gets tied up by the unicorns, and they just take the gumballs and dispense it out of him, which is really weird. But we're not going to talk about that. I would have to see what question I want to throw at the end of this show, quote, end, because I want to try to find more theories for you guys to talk about during this break. But one of the questions I usually talk about I usually have a question at the end of each episode. So what could the question be you're asking? Well, it's very simple. What is your favorite exotic animal? I've already talked about this, but raccoons. Raccoons are my favorite exotic animal. I don't know if you consider them exotic fully, but they're definitely wild animals. And I love raccoons, which makes me like Rigby a lot more because he's a raccoon. Raccoons are just really adorable. And who doesn't like to look at an adorable raccoon? They just have those amazing, cute eyes that they look at you before, you know, they take your food. But, you know, for raccoons looking adorable, they deserve to take my food once in a while. So only when I'm not hungry. If I've already eaten my food, you can have all the trash you want, Trash Panda, you know? So yeah, this is the end of this segment. I'll be back on at 11:40 to end up the episode with some more theories to talk about. And hopefully I find some more interesting theories and fun facts to talk about to end with this episode. So yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying the soundtrack. So yeah, this is WXUT 88.3, Toledo's only alternative. And I'll see you guys here soon. Welcome back. This is AJ with the Plexi Film Show, WXUT 88.3, Toledo's only alternative. And I'm going to be finishing off with some information and news along with one other theory and some other facts to finish off. So I just found a theory because I actually thought about this too. What happened to the regular show's park animals? Well, my answer, base answer to that is, did they just eat them all? Like, did they kick them out, or what all happened? Well, it's always empty, and for it to be empty, it's weird considering a park is one of the biggest, habitats for wildlife in the show. There is barely any wild animal shown throughout the show. Theories say that they either ate them all and got rid of them while building the city. And there is, a house in the middle of the park, and in the freezer of the park, you see a bunch of meat in the freezer for no reason, just a bunch of it. And you don't really see that they eat a lot of it either. They just have it. It's just funny to see that Mordecai and Rigby gets all the hospitality that the animals didn't get, clearly because either they're dead because they're eating them all and they're all in the freezer or whatnot. So it's just funny to think about. Judging how the real world works, most likely they packed up a lot of the wildlife that they used to live in the city. I understand that, the park still has some animals shown throughout the show, but it's not many. But ask the question, are regular show animals becoming humans? Because if you see it, you're living amongst animals, you can't just pack up any animals you want and eat them. We see, horses being used as actual horses, and then some that are just human-like form. But you see some humans that are eating each other as well, which causes problems throughout the show in some of the episodes. But why are animal-like humans and regular show able to eat each other, but some of them can't or cannot, and why can't humans? It's just weird, and it's to think about how human-like animals can eat anything they want and the humans can't. It's just weird to think about. All right, we're gonna go on to some of the last few fun facts. I found a few more, and then we're gonna end off with some of the news for the show. You guys, I know, might already know about it, but it's fine. The main characters is a raccoon and a blue jay, which are animals that J.G. Quintel saw a lot while growing up, which makes sense. Because I've always thought about it. Why is it specifically a raccoon and a blue jay? It makes sense on next fun fact, why a raccoon is a main character. Because raccoons are funny with little man hands and just are very devious little creatures. And that's what J.G. Quintel loves about them, which makes sense why a raccoon, aka Rigby, is the main character. I actually didn't know this, but this is just a fun little information. That's why they call it fun fact. Benson's last name is Dunworthy. Don't know why, but it just is. The episode Excellent is based on the challenge J.G. Quintel and his brother tried at a restaurant while growing up, which was called the Broken Yolk. And I find that very interesting to think about because I thought it was like an actual challenge that they dealt with, but I never thought it was because, well, I want to look up what the actual Broken Yolk challenge was real quick. So the Broken Yolk challenge is actually only no substitutions and one person per challenge. Diners have 1 hour to finish a dozen egg omelets filled with mushrooms, onions, American cheese, and smothered with chili and more cheese, which is literally exactly what you see in the show. Plus a generous portion of home fries and 2 biscuits, which is, like I said, exactly what is shown in that episode, which that episode won an award for being like the best short out of them at that time. It's just very cool that they got a lot of credit for that just because of an episode of regular show being based on an event that J.G. Quintel lived with, which is really cool because I never thought an egg challenge was a thing because I know food challenges are a thing, but I never knew there was an egg challenge, which is interesting to me. All right, I'm going to be ending with a little bit more information about the show. And there's a reason why I wanted to talk about the show because it's been confirmed that regular show will return with a new series from the original creator. Mordecai and Rigby are set to return on Cartoon Network as Warner Bros. Announced a new regular show series. I want to give you some more information. Okay. Along with them returning, Adventure Time would also be getting a new movie, but 2 spin-offs. With Finn and Jake won't be the only ones returning to Cartoon Network. Mordecai and Rigby will also, and it's so excited to see where this is going to go. And it's also been rumored that Mordecai and Rigby might not be the main characters as well, and it might just be one of them or the other with some new characters, which is fine because it will build a new generation of regular show fans and enjoyers. It might not be tough for fans to pin down where the series can go from here, because in the original series it was supposed to be finale where Mordecai and Rigby were shown as growing up as they would go to leave the park, start families of their own, and reunite to one final snapshot, which is a great ending for the show. So I don't understand where they can take this place, but we'll see where J.G. Quintel is going to take it. So yeah, I think this series has a new, like an extended title with it. I think it's going to be called Regular Show Lost Tapes. So that's going to be interesting if it's actually going to be called Regular Show Lost Tapes. I'm excited to see, like, you know, SpongeBob specials of, because I don't know if you remember in SpongeBob, they used to have a lot of the lost episodes, or a lot of shows back then used to have a lot of lost episodes as like just more information, more history, more story to give you about the character or story of the show. So I'm excited for this new series. If you guys have any ideas of what shows I should talk about next, please DM me on Instagram at the Plexi Film Show. You can see it. It's a bright pink logo. Just DM me. I'm more than welcome to try to watch new shows and talk about different shows. I'm going to try to go into live action next week so we can get out of the animation trend, which nothing wrong with animation shows. I'm just ready to go back into live action shows and see where this can go because they're fun. Who doesn't like some live action? I might or might not be on next week, so stay tuned to see any updates with that because I know next week is going to be very busy for me. So yeah, thank you guys so much for enjoying this episode with me. I'm going to give you guys the last 10, 11 minutes to enjoy the amazing soundtrack of regular show. So yeah, have a good night, y'all. Love you guys so much. I'll come back on at 11:59 to close things off for you guys. All right, enjoy. Hello, everyone. I'm about to close off and say this is the end of WXUT 88.3, Toledo's only alternative of AJ with the Plexi Film Show for the night. Hopefully, you guys have a wonderful night. You guys all deserve it for coming in and joining in and listening to me yap for 2 hours. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this episode. And if you guys have any show recommendations, please DM me on Instagram at the Plexi Film Show. All right, this is the end. I'll stop yapping.